Alrighty, so we are actually starting down here in the utility room in the basement. This one, we have a cast iron clean out here with a cap. It's actually got a couple threads into it. And the threads that we have in there are actually not in bad condition. And here is our utility room we are in. A nice boiler, water heater. I'll go ahead and hop in this line and see what we can see. I did notice that in the basement there was some blue tape on the ground. Might indicate some other locates. We're going to go ahead and take a careful look once we get closer to the front of the property. Ooh, that is a pretty big crack there. Ooh, boy. Yeah, we have a pretty major crack starting at 11 feet, 12 feet here, 11'9". Got roots, more compromised cast iron, out to 14 feet. So from 11 feet to 14 feet has to be replaced. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that is very compromised. Yeah, 15 feet. We're going to move that to 15 feet because there's still a little bit more past that 14 foot mark. Oh my goodness. And then we have at 15 feet, crack beginning on the right side of the line. Roots and compromises. Goodness gracious. That ends at about 21 feet. So we're actually going to go ahead and go from 11 to 21 feet. 22 feet. Make sure they're tying onto good cast iron. I don't think we've quite reached the point further up where they had those locates. Looks like this has been cleaned relatively recently because we've got a bunch of core material here around this corner. Yeah, look at that. So now we're heading towards the front of the property where that blue tape was on the ground. Scale. Okay, so the front of the property here, wherever they had those locates done, not seeing anything stupendous back here. Cast iron looks like it was neglected at one point, which is why we have some of the coloring we do. But I'm not seeing any holes or cracks back this way. So the main focus so far is going to be to get that cast iron replaced from 11 feet to 22 feet. Cracking is closer to 12 to 21 feet, but we want to pull it back just a little bit to make sure that we're actually tying onto good cast iron. Because while that crack, from what I could see on the inside, is only that size, they may pull up the concrete and find that the cracking on the other side is actually a bit further along. Now we do have our transition point here at 43 feet. It is cast iron to clay, and this actually looks really gosh darn good. It's aligned well, not seeing any roots, so we're going to go ahead and flush the toilet here in the basement and show flow. So as always, with any repairs I always recommend a rescope after the repair work is finished. In this case, I would recommend it after backfill and the fill underneath the slab, but I'd recommend that before any slab is re-poured, having it re-inspected to verify the repair work. You want to verify it before the slab goes down, because if there are any issues with the repairs, you'll have to pull that slab up again. You can actually see here at the top of the line, you have old like toilet paper and other stuff stuck to the top. That tells me that the water level in this has been fairly high in the past. Outside of that, I am not seeing too much with the clay. Actually, fairly decent condition so far. But we'll check that out a little bit more as we get closer to the street here. Roots, not a big issue. Roots of the joint here, very minor though. This is probably our turn down to the city side here. Increase in pitch, and there's our city line just down there. Alrighty. Some roots here at this joint. The clay is actually in fantastic condition. So I'm going to go ahead and flush another toilet and improve flow here. Clay looks really good. Minimal settling, no offsets, no low points, no cracks, fractures, or holes. All the joints look like they were in pretty healthy condition. It's just that cast iron underneath the slab here in the basement. That has to be located and ripped up. There's a pretty sizable crack in the left side of the line from 11 to 14 feet. And then from 15 to 22 is also cracked. So we're just going to go ahead and recommend that 11 feet to 22 feet is replaced, and that it is re-inspected afterwards to verify the repairs. Something like this should be fairly easy for them to take care of. Alrighty, and we do have actually pretty decent flow. So for this line, I would recommend maintaining good maintenance after the repairs are done. This is going to need fairly regular maintenance. I'd recommend every 1 to 2 years with a chain auger to maintain scale buildup on the cast iron and to help get rid of roots in the clay. When this repair is done, you're going to have a section of PVC in here, and that's going to want a different kind of maintenance. PVC is going to love to hold on to grease, but the chain auger is going to be pretty decent at getting that knocked off the line and getting it pushed out to where it can be dealt with. Outside of that, I always recommend being mindful about what's being flushed. No non-flushables, floss, flossers, Q-tips, hygiene products, feminine hygiene products, anything like that. I also strongly recommend against the use of flushable wipes in these older lines, especially because you get roots that form. Those love to hold on to those flushable wipes and cause backups. And then as far as the cast iron is concerned, as it rusts, it becomes jagged, and those little edges like to hold on to the fiber, the fibrous material that is most wipes, and that is also another good way to start a backup. So avoid those flushable wipes at pretty much all costs. Maintain good maintenance to keep this clay in good condition, and once those repairs are done, have that line rescoped to verify the repair work, and should be good to go from there. See that this flow from the single toilet flush is still coming out. It just goes to show you how much that core material can really slow things down. So I'm going to run my camera over it a couple of times, see if we can get some of that knocked loose, so it'll flush a bit easier. Oh goodness, and I didn't notice this before. Looks like we do have some pretty sneaking cracking here along the side towards the bottom. And it comes up and towards this connection here. I'm not seeing anything around the corner here. Let's see that core material. So we're actually going to go ahead and locate it here at 25 feet. We're going to pull that initial locate forward a couple more feet, get this intersection here repaired. Yeah. And yeah, hopefully we can. Hopefully that'll be a relatively easy repair. Alrighty, so it looks like the locates I saw towards the front of the property with the blue painter's tape were actually also these compromises. So this has already been located before. Looks like it was cleaned to verify, and it just, it is just compromised. So we're going to go ahead and pull back to the beginning of these issues, drop out of their locate. Hopefully, all this cracking ends before it reaches the inside of the utility room, where we've got stuff like the boiler and water heater. That crack runs a little further back than 11 feet. It looks like it runs to this joint here at 5 feet. Here at 3 feet we have our floor drain connection. Alright, yeah, it looks like it's this joint up here at 5.5 feet. So we're going to go ahead and drop our second locate here and get that figured out. That is why we always double check our work. Because that sneaky line up top doesn't look like too terribly much until you start to see the roots come through here closer to 7 feet. If you pull it back and follow it, you can actually see it's separated pretty much all the way till it gets to this joint here. And wherever this joint is compromised. So, looks like that is just behind the boiler here. It runs underneath the stairs. I'll show you guys where this is running real quick. So we have our boiler, water heater, basement, our stairs. The duct tape there is where that is running out roughly. And we come up here. We have some over there. You can see that I put my old my duct tape over the old locates just to show that there's a difference there. But yes, looks like these cracks had been located previously and are definitely in need of repair and replacement. We're going to go ahead and get everything tied up here. Make sure we're got some work to do on this one.